Hello guys and welcome to TLOF. This is a brand new league I'll be commentating on. So we are currently on round 9 of the Elite Division and we are at Hungary. So we will be joining the commentary mid-season, but I'm sure that'll be okay as I have looked at some of the footage that these drivers have shown in the chat, and it looks to be a very exciting and competitive league. So hopefully there'll be much to watch in this race, and obviously quali as well. I have looked at the stand-ins to see the pace of some of these drivers. I know Pova in the McLaren, I believe he is currently leading the championship. I believe that's correct. Let me just actually quickly double check that. I don't want to get my figures wrong. Let me quickly check. Yeah, so he's currently leading the championship, so we'll keep our eyes on him. But hopefully this will bring a lot of entertainment. But we'll just wait for the drivers to select their setup, and we'll jump straight on board with them, or whoever comes out first, to watch their hot lap and then out lap, then their hot lap, and see what time they can get down. Obviously, the Elite Division is a little bit more different to other divisions. So in the Elite Division, they are not allowed any assists, so they will not be running any racing lines. Everything is almost basically realistic, if you want to put it that way. So it's very interesting to see, as it's very different to other divisions. So we'll stay on board with Shay here in the Williams, and we will stay on board with him until he starts his hot lap. And then obviously if he does invalidate, we will go on board with somebody else, but we will otherwise stay on board with him through his hot lap and see what time he sets for everybody to beat. Obviously Hungary is a very difficult track. Um, I know that, and the curbs are not very nice, especially through that middle sector. So they just got to watch out a little bit for them. But obviously it is quite a challenge as well about the racing line and no traction control. So definitely some very good drivers in here. But we'll stay on board with the Williams as he comes around the final corner now to start his hot lap, and we will see what he can do. We will get up the lap data and all that for you guys right now. So staying on board with the Williams, actually do have a Mercedes coming out as well, but not getting in the way, which is good. So going through turn 1, looking rather nice, keeping it together. Obviously you want to get that banker lap down first of all, but heading into turn 2, it's looking decent so far, as long as obviously it's only been a corner, but still looking quite smooth. Obviously you can take a little bit more risk, but again, it's your banker lap. You don't want to be invalidating and then having to put more pressure on you for the next couple laps you do in quali. As you see, he does set purple sector 1, but obviously he's the first car out, so I would hope that he would be setting the purple sector 1 because nobody else has set a time. But coming through sector 2 now, you just don't want to hit those curves because they send you into the wall, and that's not what you would want as a driver. But it's like a very decent time so far, so we'll see what time he does set for the other drivers to beat, and then we will hop on board with another driver and see if they are going quicker or not. But so far so good for the Williams driver for his banker lap. Coming around the final corner now, it's looking good. No bubble on the back end as well, so a 116.9, that's a decent banker lap to start with. So we will now hop on board with the Red Bull of Potro, I think that's how you say it, who has actually just set fastest sector 1. So we know that he is going quicker than that Williams, so we will stay on board with him as the Alpine. Yes, the Alpine sets a 118.1, and then we have the Aston Martin setting a 119, and then Henk setting a 119.4. So some interesting times, and we've actually just had Potro invalidate there, so we will now go on board with the other Alpine of Tibran. I think that's how you say it, Tibran. I'm not too sure, but I believe he is currently P2 in the championship, as we do have a Red Bull in the wall there. So just coming in after his invalidated lap, he has lost the car and put it in the wall, but all still intact, so that's the most important thing, and obviously did not get in the way of T-Brand. But coming through to the last corner now, we'll see what the Alpine does set for his time, and it will be a 118.8, which is enough to put him into P3, right next to his other Alpine teammate just behind. So that lap that Shea set in that Williams was quite quick compared to these times coming in now. So we'll go on board now with Jim, who is in the Haas, and see what time he sets for his first lap. A 57 through sector 2. I believe that is a very decent time to be setting, as the Aston Martin just goes and does a 118 just there. So that's an improvement for his time, which does put him into P2, and obviously the Ferrari of Henk also moving up into the P4 spot. So the Haas comes around the corner now. What time is it going to be? It's just going to be a 120, a 120.4. So the slowest of them all, but maybe he's just taking it safe and making sure he gets around the track. And Heppy there in the Alpine, actually setting a 117.1, only 2 tenths off our pole sitter as of right now. But obviously it's so early on in qualifying, anything can happen. But we will now go on board with Moti in the Ferrari, as he has just started his hot lap. So we'll stay on board with him throughout his hot lap and see how he does. So just taking it nice and easy through turn 1. Going into the long left-hander now. You want to carry as much speed through here as possible, but obviously you don't want to compromise your exit, which leads into this long straight. So looking like a decent time so far. What's it going to be in sector 1? It is the fastest sector 1 so far, so this is looking good for Moti in the Ferrari. Number 55 representing Carlos Sainz. We're coming through the right left here. The curbs are very deadly here, and as you can see there, he's not taking any risks of going over that second curb, and I would not be either on my banker lap. So this lap so far is looking a very solid lap for Moti's first lap. What's it going to be going through the sector times? It is a 56.8, so this is actually quicker than who was we spectating when he done a 57. I'm not too sure, I cannot remember, I do apologise for that. But anyway, we'll stay on board with the Ferrari and just see what time he does over the line, as he has got an Alpine behind him, who I believe is T-Bran, who is also on a hot lap, so we'll see what time he sets. But Moti's going to come over the line and set a 119.8, so not far off the pace of JTAC, but obviously not the quickest, not the slowest, sorry, not the slowest of them all. And T-Bran actually goes 1/10 behind Heppy there in the AlphaTauri, so a very solid lap from the Alpine there. We will now hop on board with Sandman. We'll hop on board with Sandman. He is starting on the medium tyres, so I don't expect this to be an amazing time, but it is looking like an amazing time. A 117.3 on the medium tyres, that is actually an amazing time. So good job to him there in the Mercedes, putting in a very quick lap. So we'll hop back on board with Potro, as he was on a very solid lap himself. Unfortunately just invalidated through sector 2. So let's hope he has better luck this time going through sector 2. But so far through sector 1, it's a purple sector. Everybody's getting purple sector 1s. I'm not convinced that it's actually right. I feel like it's a glitch, but who knows? And that is actually a Mercedes. I don't know who it is. It's Sandman, who has just lost it a little bit. Maybe going for another push lap on those mediums. I mean, I would too. They got so much life in them. You want to get the most out of them. But we'll hop back on board with Potro, as he's now heading to the end of his lap, taking it nice and smooth through sector 2 there, into sector 3 now. Just a few more corners to go. And a little wobble there, nearly losing the back end, but keeping it together. Yeah, I did think it was a glitch. He does go wide out of that corner, so maybe it's not going to be the quickest of times, but we'll see what he puts down, as he has got a lot of pressure on him from not having that banker lap so far. A 118.6, so a very solid time to put him into P9, so not bad from him. We will now hop on board with... We'll stay on board with the Alpine, as I believe he is on a hot lap. Yes, he is. He does run wide, but no invalidation there, and he has half a tenth up on his time. So if he could find another 2 tenths, 2 or 3 tenths in this final sector, he will be able to push into that P4 spot. But as it stands, he will be moving up into P5 as long as he keeps his lap together. It's coming around the final corner now, keeping it very stable on the back end. It's just like it's going to be a 117.4, so puts him up in the P5, but he probably knows that he can find those few extra attempts to push him up into those higher positions as he does run wide there. Just missing the braking point a little bit onto the first turn, but he might be able to push into the higher positions there. Obviously, at P5 is a very good position, but I'd imagine he'll be going out again to try and push a little bit extra. And Aston Martin is just invalidated there as well, while being 1.5 tenths sub on his time, so that's very unfortunate for him. Who do we go on board with? We'll go on board with Pova. As we know, he is a very quick driver, as he's currently leading this championship, and he is he's trying to qualify on the medium tyres, so we'll see how that goes for him. Just trying to get as much heat into those tyres as possible. Obviously, as you come out the garage, they've already got a lot of heat in them, but it always does some good to get some extra heat into them before you start that hot lap. So he'll be coming into the final sector now before he starts his hot lap. A 1:16.9 to beat. We will stay on board with him throughout his hot lap and see how he goes. Only 7 minutes left of the session as well, so enough for 2 runs, or a last run as well for these drivers. But Pova now in the McLaren starts his hot lap, I believe. Yes, there we go. So heading into turn 1, looking like it's a decent turn 1. He does run a little bit wide on the exit, so maybe just missing the braking point a little bit, so that will lose him a little bit of time, maybe a tenth, but nothing more. But we'll see what he can do throughout the lap, see if he can make up that little bit of time lost through turn 1. As he doesn't set fastest sector 1, the game has fixed itself. This is where he's actually set fastest sector 1, and the game's just tricking us. He has got a Red Bull behind him. I believe the Red Bull is, yes, CR. I don't really know what we'd call him, just CR. We'll call him CR. We'll stay on board with Pova though, as on those medium tyres. We'll see what he's setting through sector 2. It's a 55.2, so 2 seconds quicker than Moti, who set a 119.8. So this could be looking at a 117. As Heppy there also just goes fastest overall with a 116.5. But what time is Pova gonna set? It is a 117.4. So that's enough to put him into P6, and obviously starting on those medium tyres, he will have the strategy advantage, as I know Hungary is a very horrible track for your tyres. So a very decent time for our championship leader there, but we will now go on board. We'll go on board with T-Ran, as he is lapping faster through sector 1 than what he has been. And we will see. No, he's not. I take that back. He is 5 seconds down on his time. That's not lapping faster. Oh, Henk is 1.1. No. This is broken, surely. Yeah, he's in for sector 1. It's broken. We'll stay on board with the Aston Martin of Sinful, who's just started his hot lap, looking to improve on that 118.3. So running a little bit wide through the long left-hander, but obviously you don't want to get too close to the inside curb. You will be put into a spin, but he's taking a lot of curb, looking very brave on the brakes through these corners, so this could be looking like a pretty decent time. But coming through sector 2, this is where a lot of time is won, or a lot of time is lost. We'll see how he goes through here, see how he does. But it's looking decent so far, as he does run a little bit wide and invalidate, so unfortunately there, just a little mistake and it has cost him. And Potro is spinning round, JTAC is invalidated, Henk is starting his hot lap, I would imagine. So we'll stay on board with Henk for his hot lap and see how he gets on in that Alfa Romeo. So looking good so far through Sector 1. I'd imagine this can be around a 27.5. It's narrowly faster than his previous time, but it is an improvement. So we'll stay on board with him and see how he does through Sector 2, see if he can improve, as he pretty much matched his Sector 1 time previous, taking a little bit more curve there than other drivers, so being a little bit more brave and taking that risk to get that extra time, as he does run wide, but he doesn't invalidate, so he must have let off the throttle a little bit through there to make sure he didn't get the invalidation, and he is currently 4 tenths quicker than his previous time. So we'll see how he goes through Sector 3. See if he can keep that 4.5 tenths up, as he does run a little bit wide through the long left-hander, and now heading into the long right-hander, the final corner. Will he get this exit right to be able to improve on his time? It's looking like it's going to be a 118 flat, so one tenth, nearly 2 tenths improvement on his time. I don't think it moved him up any positions. No, it did not. He's going to have to find another 6 tenths to improve on his position. So quite a big jump for that driver, but we'll see if he can find the pace to do it. CR not lapping any faster. We're going back on board with the Aston Martin, as we haven't really seen much footage so far of his hot laps. Only the other Aston Martin, and he is in P4 right now, so 117.2 to improve on. Going through Sector 1 right now. What time is he going to be putting down? So he is currently 1 tenth quicker than his previous time, so it's looking like an improvement on his personal best. And obviously up the top here with the other drivers, it is only a few tenths separating them, so definitely some positions to gain here. So we'll see how he goes through Sector 2. So not invalidating right there, so that was pretty decent of him, as I believe that's where he invalidated last time out when we were watching him. But it's setting fast this Sector 2. He's now 5 tenths up on his time, so this could be currently looking like a P2. But has he got some time to gain through that last sector, which could push him into the P1 spot, as right now we have Heppy of a 116.5. So 116.5 to beat. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 116.3, so he does go pole position in the Aston Martin there. Just 2 tenths quicker than Heppy, so Heppy. So I'd imagine Heppy does not have enough time to come out. So that looks like his qualifying will be done. And Shea also improved by 3 tenths and a half. So will this be enough to push Heppy into P2? It's enough to go pole, so he's gone pole by less than half a tenth. So Shea there taking the pole position so far. T-Ran, is he improving on his time? No, he's invalidated. Sandman is, no, he's 16 tenths down. Pova though has just set fastest Sector 2, and he is nearly 4 tenths up on his time. That's enough to put him 17 flat. But will he be able to find that extra few tenths he needs through the last sector to be able to take pole position? No, it's not. He's going to be coming into the pits. Okay, alright. That's just his choice. Maybe he wants to start on those medium tyres. If he ain't starting on those, if he ain't starting on front row, there's no point starting 2 places higher on softs. That's a smart decision from him to back off. Who is improving on their lap? Who is Jim Racing? 3 tenths up on his lap through Sector 1, so we will stay on board with the Haas driver, as he is currently in 14th, and he has got to find 8 tenths, no, 1.2 seconds of time. So we will see if he can find that to be able to move him up 1 place. Obviously the gap from 12th to 14th is quite a big jump, and he's not improving on his time, so we'll go on board with Sandman, who's not improving. Nobody. I think that will be the remaining positions of qualifying. So it looks like we have Shea in the Williams pole position by just less than half a tenth, so it got really close near the end there, and Heppy obviously dropping down a few places. Obviously he has got those spare set of tyres that he didn't go out on in qualifying, so that could play a massive advantage to him in the race. I know soft tyres, depending on the strategy of Hungary, I don't know if they would be used or not, but we'll see. Obviously all drivers have their own strategy and whatnot, but we'll just wait for the drivers now to pull into the pits, and Yes, Rhino, I know. It is nice to see an Aston Martin on the front row. Not something. Last time there was an Aston Martin on the front row was Azerbaijan in TRRL. But anyway, we'll wait for these drivers to pop themselves into the pits now, and then we'll head straight to the race. So we're just waiting on the Mercedes of JTAC and the Williams of Shea. So there is your final results of qualifying. Obviously Sandman and Pova both on those medium compound tyres, so that could play a huge advantage in the race. And I'd imagine the people from 11th place onwards will be starting on those medium tyres, possibly even the hards, depending on their strategy. I wouldn't want to start on the softs on Hungary. But good job to Shea for taking the pole position in the Williams, and Aston Martin on that front row. Narrowly missing out on the pole position spot, but P2 is a good starting position, and obviously Heppy in the AlphaTauri just lost the pole position at the end there, and Tubran in the Alpine 8 tenths off pole position, but I believe he is currently second in the championship, so I'd imagine he has got decent race pace. So we'll wait for all the drivers to ready up, and we will load into the race. Obviously 35 laps around Hungary, anything can happen really. A safety car can change many strategies. It's not all about your race pace, it's about the strategy you choose, and just many other things. So we'll wait for the drivers to all ready up, and then we will wait for their lights to go out. So there we go. Only 25 more seconds till we get into the race. I believe it is formation lap first. I'm not sure if this league does a formation lap. We will see. Right. Wait. Whoa. Is it straight lights out? No, it is a formation lap first. Okay, so we will run through the order. We have 17 drivers for this grid, so a very big grid for this race. So there'll be a lot of entertainment to watch. 35 laps of it, and with my commentary, I'm sure you're gonna love that. But anyway, we have Shea on pole position, and actually we do have the pit stop strategies popping up to you. So personally, I think maybe medium hards will be the fastest strategy, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's soft, medium, medium. I think it might actually be soft, medium, soft. I'm not too sure. But anyway, we have Shea in the Williams taking pole position narrowly, and then we have the Aston Martin who just lost the pole position to Shea by less than half a tenth, and obviously Heppy in P3 who didn't go out near the end of qualifying, and because of that lost his pole position to the two drivers in front of him. Tubran in the Alpine, I would imagine he has good race pace, as if you're P2 in the championship, then I mean, you gotta put in the consistent results to get there, so I'd imagine he will be a very consistent driver. Sandman, starting on those medium tyres, actually out-qualifying Pova, who is currently our championship leader, so a very good job to him, and obviously Pova starting on those medium tyres as our championship leader. I would imagine him to be making moves up the grid throughout this race. And then we have the Alpine in P7. We have Henk in the Alfa Romeo, who was a little bit far back from the top 7, but maybe qualifying isn't his strong point. And then we have Moti in the Ferrari in P9. Simple, the other Aston Martin in P10. CR in the Red Bull, and then Potro also behind him in the Red Bull, but he has been reset back to the grid. And then we have JTAC in the Mercedes, Jim Racing in the Haas. I don't know how to say that name, and it's really easy to say. McLaren, then we have the Ferrari, and then we have F1 Mason, who joined the session late. And I would imagine all these drivers are starting on medium or hard. Yes, all other than the top 10. So we'll head back to the front of the grid for the lights to go out. And I believe the lights don't go out on the right time. It says we're on lap 2 already. Oh no, what's happened? Right, everything's messing up. Anyway, 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And it's not going to go out on time. Okay, oh no, it has gone out on time. So we stay on board with the Aston Martin. And we see as we have a few drivers at the back there just getting out of shape. So maybe a few losing it on the start of the grid there. Putting the throttle down a little bit too early as Heppy does run wide into turn 1. That could leave room for T-Brown to make a move. No, it doesn't. But Pova has moved up a position already with Simple behind him. Where has Sandman dropped back to? It looks like he has not got the best of starts already in P14. Not sure what happened to him, but Hank also moving up a position, and Potro moving up 4 positions, and also Jim Racing moving up a fair few positions. So already a few drivers making big jumps in the race. But we'll hop back on board with the front runner and see if the Aston Martin will be making any moves as the Williams skips over the curb there, trying to get ahead, trying to get that little extra boost. But is there any moves looking like they're going to be made? Maybe on the Alpine, on the Haas here, following in rather closely as the Haas does run wide. Will he be able to make a move going down to this straight? I don't think he's going to be close enough, as we do have a yellow sector 2. I'm not sure who has said hello to the wall. But as it stands, we have Shea holding position in P1. Actually, the top 4 all holding position, and then we have Pova also moving up 1 position, and following closely T-Ran, who is obviously behind him in the championship. So I'd imagine that is Pova's main competitor for this race, making sure that you do beat him. And further back, we have Henk making a move on the Aston Martin into turn 1. Giving him enough room, but it's very close racing, so a very good move there from Henk, actually going up the inside into turn 1 and being very clean as well, so really good overtake from him. Further back, do we have anybody? We have JTAC losing a position, that's him just coming into the pits. But further up we have Heppy, still not far behind, sorry, no, T-Ran and Pova closing the gap between them two, and also Heppy is... It says only 4 attempts behind Aston Martin. I'm not convinced. Yeah, I'm not convinced about that. Anyway, we have 3 attempts behind that. It's the Alpine looking to make another move after obviously getting past the Haas. I missed that one, I'm sorry. He's looking to make a move onto that Red Bull, who is on the harder compound tyres. So as a soft runner, you want to get past him as quickly as possible. Looking like he isn't going to be close enough to make that move down the straight. Maybe though, we are not sure, as Baladin sets the fastest lap of the race. So looking to catch up first place right now, who is Shea in the Williams, as a gap has been formed between them two of 1.4 seconds so far. But obviously the race is not a sprint, it is 35 laps, and you don't want to burn out your tyres or use all your ERS in the first few laps, because that will compromise you heavily later on in the race, unless of course there's a safety car and then you get to recharge your ERS. But anyway, we have a few drivers staying on the back of the other drivers in front of them. Obviously we have Pova and a few others, such as the Alpine on the back of Potro, and we have a yellow sector 3. Who is that? I believe it was JTAC going slow, and will the Ferrari of Moti look to capitalise on the mistake that JTAC has made there? Was lining up a move going into the final corner, but I didn't think it would happen. But coming down the straight now, will he be able to have the DRS advantage and get past? I do not think he's close enough, but as I'm speaking, Baladin is catching Shea now, so the gap is now down to 6 tenths, so Baladin is on a charge to get into that P1 spot. So will he be able to close the gap even more along this straight? It looks to be quite far back, but obviously with the DRS advantage you'll be able to close that gap and maybe have a push in the next coming laps. So the gap's still down to 6 tenths, so we will keep them We'll keep our eye on them as we do watch this battle of Henk, who has been absolutely amazing so far with his overtakes. I know he's only made one, but he's on now the back of the championship leader, looking to make a move. And as I'm speaking, Sandman has lost another. No, he's in the pits. Don't worry, guys. It wasn't an entertaining overtake. But Henk looking to try and get past Pova. Obviously, Pova on those medium tyres. Henk will want to get past as soon as possible. So we'll keep our eye on that. And also further up, we have Baladin trying to get past Shea in the Williams, and Heppy not far behind either in that AlphaTauri, just waiting for either driver to make a mistake to then take that extra position. So we have quite a lot of close battles going on right now. Obviously, while the Alpine's oh, the Alpine's gone quite wide there. That ain't good. But it looks like everybody is holding position for now. So oh no, Sandman looks like he's overtaken Fragile back, but we'll stay on board with the Aston Martin of Baladin, see if he can close down the gap even more between him and P1. Doesn't look like he'll be making a move into this corner, but maybe the next one, depending on the exit. And Shea does get a really bad exit, so Shea's actually lost it and retired from this session. So our P1 sitter right now has lost it, and as I said, Heppy just sitting back waiting for a mistake to happen, and a mistake has happened, and Shea is now out of the race. So Baladin getting a nice easy move done there to take P1, and now Heppy will be looking to maybe charge on to try and get Baladin, but the gap is increasing as obviously there is now a safety car. So I don't know why I'm commentating on a safety car, but anyway, the safety car is out, so Pova is probably quite happy, because obviously starting on those medium tyres, I'd imagine people on softs will come in the pit, and then Pova will take the lead of this race. Who else have we got on medium tyres? Potro on those medium tyres, Jim on the medium tyres, and a few others that are quite far back. So I'd imagine these stock runners are going to come into pit, as the engine sounds very bad. That's the game glitch, not the actual engine. So I'd imagine that Aston Martin will come into pit here to put on those medium tyres, and yes, he does. Maybe even the hard tyres, I'm not sure. Heppy also pits. Does T-Bran pit? T-Bran actually stays out on the soft tyres, and Pova actually comes into the pit, so maybe he's going to be chopping on those hard tyres, and 30 laps on the hard tyres. I don't know if they can do that, but I'd imagine he will know a lot more strategy wise, as he is the championship leader, so he will know what he is doing, and we will see what tyres he's actually chucked on. I'd imagine it would be hard tyres. I wouldn't. So yeah, he is put on the hard tyres, and a few drivers have stayed out. So obviously we have T-Bran on those soft tyres staying out. Maybe he thinks he can make the tyres go a little bit longer than most people, and Simple also staying out. Potro on those medium tyres, and Jim also on those medium tyres staying out, and behind them now is Baladin, who's going to want to charge on and get his P1 back, as obviously he has lost 4 positions, 2 pit stops. So we will go to the front of the grid for the leader of T-Bran, and we will stay on board with him while the others catch up after their pit stops and rejoin onto the safety car. My battery is low. I do not want my controller disconnecting, so I am going to plug that in while the safety car is out. But really unfortunate for Shea there in the Williams, as he was leading this race, and one little mistake, and now he is 15th and DNF. So it goes to show how one little mistake could accumulate to quite a big mistake, and obviously the drivers behind him will be rather grateful for the position that they have just gained. So just waiting for JTAC to catch up. I believe he is going through now sector 3. No, he's going through sector 1. So we'll be waiting quite a while, as the Aston Martin actually does decide to pit. So rather late call, so I'd imagine he's going to lose quite a few positions, but we'll see what tyre he decides to put on. I'd imagine it'll be the hard compound, and yes it is. So he's going to go for the hard compound tyres, maybe going for a soft hard, or soft hard soft strategy. But it looks like he's actually going to come out in P10, so not as many positions lost as I thought. But we will see how this race plans out, as I'd imagine Sandman also wants to gain back some of his positions after the start he had, which put him from P5 down to P14. So not the start he would have wanted, but hopefully he can recover that and gain some more positions throughout these next 28 laps. Obviously Pot Road does have a 5-second time penalty. I am not sure that is for, let me just check it is a 5-second time penalty. Yes it is, so I'd imagine that's probably for speeding in the pit lane or maybe something other, I'm not too sure. But anyway, 14 drivers left in this race, and we will just wait for the safety car to come in, and I believe the safety car will be coming in this lap. So J-Tank absolutely rushing right now to try and catch up onto the back of the drivers, because you don't want to miss the restart, and thankfully for him, T-Brown is backing everybody up, which gives them a little bit more time. Is the safety car in this lap? Did I miss the call that it said? I'd imagine it would be, else T-Brown would be getting penalised for being too far behind the safety car. So J-Tank almost catching up to the back, absolutely speeding his way around, and there you go, he is caught up. So luckily for him, he will be able to fight the person in front of him. But anyway, we'll wait for T-Brown to decide. Oh no, the safety car's not in this lap. That's weird, I thought it was coming in. So obviously the safety car will be coming in next lap, as everybody has now caught up. So we got to do one more lap of Hungary, which is very fun.